Hi everyone, I'm back by popular demand. What I thought I would do today is go over the post I wrote yesterday, kind of read it out loud and add in a few more things that might be of help to you. So what I said was a few of you asked me questions in the comments of my week 4 midterm notes post. I'll adjust them here and include a few other items. Number 1, Kevin asked if you can tackle concepts like spreadability or transmedia, or do I only want theories like cybernetics or information theory to be some of the concepts that you're dealing with? I thought that was a very interesting question because he's discerning the difference between an embodied theory and some of the more general ideas or labels or categories. What I said here was I expect you to discuss either concepts or theories that are pinned and grounded around actual examples from our weekly website viewings. All the projects that we've been looking at can be discussed in terms of the dialogue that we're having with the writers. So for example, as I said here, spreadability is a huge concept, and so is cybernetics in terms of theory. In a 10-page paper, you're not going to really be able to dig in deeply to some useful ideas that you would come up with. So what I'm asking you is, how can you focus these bigger ideas, follow the trail, and find a thread that you find is an interesting thread to follow and be very particular about. What I'm most concerned about is that you avoid generalizations so that at some point in your writing you don't get lost, and that you don't make categorical statements that aren't backed up either by evidence from the readings or evidence from secondary sources. I'm pretty concerned that you stay grounded in looking at and thinking about the projects that we're examining, as well as the ideas that you're being exposed to. Now, if you look at your posts, you are going to find a million themes that you can pick and choose from. I've read everybody's posts, I've read everybody's comments, I've read all your private posts, and trust me, as 10-year-olds say, trust me, you have a ton of stuff to pick from and work off of. All you got to do if you're feeling pressured is print out those posts, take a yellow marker, and start looking through them and finding patterns and themes that you could turn into paragraphs. And those paragraphs then can be connected, and those chunks of text could be subcategorized, and then you can really find a way to include ideas, readings and analysis of the websites that you're touring, and maybe even personal relationships to this material. Again, you want to compare and you want to contrast different projects with an idea. So what I'm also going to include below this post is another article that I just happened to come across in the New York Review of Books, and it is online, so I'll include that link, where the author talks about 5 different new books about the internet. And she looks at it in a contextual way, and then she looks at each one of the different books. You are, in essence, creating context for these projects in your own way that we haven't really thought about before. You're writing about them. You're not reviewing them and saying what's good and what's bad. You are talking about them in the broader world of online media, participatory media that we're flowing in. That's as simple as that. And you want to use evidence. So you have that link that I'm going to set up. And then also you can look at Patricia Zimmerman's Gato Gato article again, which is about 12 or 13 pages long. And we'll give you another idea for what Melissa asked about is paper format. Let's see, paper format. You're supposed to double space, use those same kinds of margins, title it at the top, put your name, the course name, date, and that's about it. You don't need to bother with a cover page because the body of the text should add up to your 10 pages with endnotes as extra. As I say in the post, for those of you who are more comfortable with word counts, the paper can be between 2,500 and 2,750 for the body of the text, and that should work out to about 10 pages. Again, if you're feeling overwhelmed, use subcategories. Use those headers if you want, subheaders, because that's a way to kind of chunk things together. I found that to be really useful. As I say here also, please email me your completed paper as a Word document by the deadline November 8th. I will work through the 24 papers over the next following 9 days with 1 day off and score them, send them back to you via your UOregon email address. And please be patient with me as I work my way through all the papers. So the next thing on the list was, as I mentioned in item number 4, you are really welcome to visit, tour around the Lunch Love Community website, look at the films, think about the concept of media socials, how the films live in different spaces, and we are going to talk about them a little bit more on Saturday. So if you can look at 2 or 3 of them, and I'll give you a good idea. They're between 3 minutes and 10 minutes maximum, so it's not a lot of time. But at the same time, as I mentioned in the post, you're not required to write about Lunch Love Community, but you could post about your paper, ask questions, get feedback, talk about the term project, and any ideas or issues that are coming up about getting it online and getting it ready to reach out into the community. Now, what we're going to do for Saturday is you'll come up to the screen and basically link to the website if it's live or not live, but we want to be able to see it as a group, and hopefully you'll, as a group, have a few minutes to tell us what it is, let us look at it with you, and then ask the group questions, the rest of the class, to get feedback on both what's there and how you're planning to do outreach. It is what someone else called a working session. A brainstorming session, a working session. This is not a critique. The group is not going to tell you what they like and don't like, but you are going to ask them questions so that you can walk away with some more insight and possibly some really interesting ideas to make the project even better. So that's kind of how I like to work through these group sessions. I think it's really useful to be more appreciative and do brainstorming than it is to do a critique, because no matter where you're at, you can always change it, and that's the beauty of the internet. It can always change. And then finally, I got another email today from Sam Ford of Spreadability, who is very excited about interacting with you. So we'll see what he has to say about Skyping in to our final meeting on December 7th. And by that point, you will have finished the book. You'll have lots of writings about spreadability, and you'll have probably a lot of questions to engage with him on. So it should be a great session. In the meantime, hopefully we will be able to figure out a way to allow him to comment, if he has time, on some of the postings. He showed interest in doing that, so I think that would be a great idea. And I guess that's it for now. I don't want you to stress. As neurological research shows, coming up with ideas and having a little bit of space in between for them to kind of sit around in your brain and grow and form is much better than trying to squeeze out writing at the very end. That said, though, everybody is different, and just give yourself enough time to revise your paper. And I am certain from everything I've seen from you that you're going to have great papers that hopefully at some point might even be publishable. If you have any questions, email me. We'll try to work something out. But I think at this point I've said everything that I want to say about the paper, and I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Thanks a lot, and take care. Bye now.